Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've already subscribed and seen my introductory video that I've done so far. So I've picked out some books that I'd like to try and read this month, so it's April. So I picked out 8 physical books and then I've got a couple of audio books that I'd like to get through as well. So I'm going to make a start on them. I'll tell you a bit about them. I've printed off the blurbs because like I said in my introductory video, my memory is absolutely shocking. So I thought there's no way I'm going to remember exactly what 8 books are about and the audio book. So I thought, well, I'll just print it off to remind me, and then I'll tell you what they're about and what kind of drew me to that book and why I'm excited to get into it. So the first one, we've got the Cozy Mysteries, and that's what I'll kind of focus on first. And can you believe it, because I said in my introductory video, I am a Kindle girly, but I do actually have a physical copy of this book. I think when I looked online, when I looked on Amazon to buy it, it was about £11 or £12 for a paperback. And I don't think they did a Kindle version, if I remember right. But I set my sister on a mission. She's a vintage expert, so I said to my sister, can you see if anybody's got this book by any chance? And somebody was selling it for 99 pence. So it was 99 pence, a couple of pound postage, and I've got it. So this book is a Golden Girls Cozy Mystery. Can you believe it? I'm so excited about this. I grew up on Golden Girls. I even now sometimes when you have some days where you just want to watch something that's nostalgic to you and just bring you back like those comforting memories and make you smile, make you chuckle, it has to be Golden Girls. I think it was an absolutely fabulous show. Loved it. I always thought like when I got older, if I could live in a house like that with some other people and have those kind of relationships, what a life it would be. It would be amazing. Well, they've actually done, it's by Rachel Erkstrom Courage, that's the author. She's done A Murder by Cheesecake. When I saw it, I thought, how can I not want to read that book? So it says on here, the Golden Girls like you've never seen them before. Things are heating up and it's not just one of Blanche's hot flashes. With Rose hosting her cousin's wedding in Miami, if she can't pull off the traditional St. Olaf wedding customs, her hometown may never accept her cousin back again. Wanting a witty conversationalist for the sure-to-be strange event, Dorothy tries this newfangled VHS dating service she's heard all about. Unfortunately, what appeared to be the ideal man on tape turns out to be a jerk in real life. Oh, poor Dorothy. So we've got Sophia, Blanche and Dorothy helping Rose with the wedding. And it does say on here that despite the tensions between the two wedding families, it looks like it's going to go ahead okay, not a herring out of place. Now, it's even just the references on the back of these make me smile, going back to the programme. And then it says, that is until Dorothy's date is found dead face planted in an otherwise scrumptious looking cheesecake. Of course it's a cheesecake, it's the Golden Girls, it has to be a cheesecake. So it then says, with every guest a suspect and a marriage on the line, it's up to the Golden Girls to sleuth out the real killer, ensure love, humour and friendship win the day. Oh, I cannot wait. So I'm currently partway through a book. When I finish that, you best believe this one has to be the next one that I'm reading. Another cozy mystery one that I've got, it's by Steve Exeter and it's called A Francine Wit Mystery. Now, I've never heard of these. I don't know how it came on my radar. I can't remember if I heard it in somebody else's recommendations or maybe when I was scrolling on the Kindle deals, maybe I found it on there. But what drew me to this, so it's like I say, it's a Francine Wit Mystery. It says it combines the intrigue of Agatha Christie whodunit with the wit and charm of Bridget Jones, all with a feminine twist. put my teeth in. So to me, that sounds really good. I love the Bridget Jones movies, and you can't beat an Agatha Christie classic, can you? So if it combines them, if it lives up to it, great. It's quite a short book. It says on here 261 pages. So see how we get on with it. It looks as though you've got Francine Witt, who's a successful blogger, influencer and wine expert. She's covering an event as part of her job. She sees two people steal something, and then from then people get murdered one by one, and unwillingly she's kind of thrust into it and goes to help find the murderer. So be interesting to see what that is like, and I do hope it's got the wit and charm of Bridget Jones. So yeah, when I saw that I thought, let's give it a go. I've never heard of that author. So who was it again? Steve Exeter. And it's nice, I think, sometimes to try other people's work. There is another book, I'm sure there's a second book. It's either been released or it's due to be released soon, but there was a second book, so depending how that goes, I'll let you know if I'm going to read the second book or not. The next one I've got is again another author I've never heard of. So they're called Ashley Kane, and it's called The Channel Islands Mysteries. So I've never read a book based on the Channel Islands, so I thought, let's give that a go. And the second book is called Channel Islands Bake Off Murder. That's out in a couple of weeks, 15th of April. So only 99 pence as well if you pre-order it on Kindle. You can't grumble at that. So hopefully I'll like the first book, and then if I do, I should get the second book. But again, what drew me to this, it says, with a dash of mystery, a pinch of gossip and a whole lot of cake, the Channel Islands Mysteries is the first in a delightful Gull Bay Cozy Mystery series. Perfect for fans of Faith Martin, Fiona Leach, and you'll see when I go through my audio books that I'm listening to, the author there is Fiona Leach, and I love her book. So if it's like that, happy days. You've got Reverend Richard Coles and MC Beaton. MC Beaton, she's the lady that wrote the Agatha Raisin books and the Hamish Macbeth books. They are just fantastic. In a video I will go through those. They're just such cozy, relaxing, like it's got that quirky wit to it. Such good books. So when I read that this was based on, or kind of, if you enjoy those authors you should enjoy that book, I thought, yeah, okay, it's got to be done. I'll give it a go. So with this one, it looks as though so April is the owner of the cafe. It says cafe owner and reluctant amateur sleuth. So she poured every penny she owns into renovating the rundown beachfront cafe she inherited from her grandma. So yeah, it looks as though things start going sinister, and it does say on here that if she doesn't find the culprit as to who she's suspecting is targeting her calf, soon it might not just be her calf that is at risk, it might be her life. So I thought, yeah, another unknown author, give it a go, see what we think. Now the next one, I have read the first book, and I loved it, really enjoyed the first book. The first book was called The Village Vendetta, and the author, I haven't got a note on here who the author is. When I do my wrap up anyway, you'll see who the author is. But I really enjoyed The Village Vendetta. I went to buy the second one, and I think it was £4.50 a book on Kindle. But they are part of the Kindle Unlimited. Now, I don't have Kindle Unlimited at the moment. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a disaster with my Amazon account. A couple of months ago, it got taken out, got hijacked. I can't remember what the word is, but somebody was buying things using my Amazon account that weren't things that I ordered. And Amazon were brilliant, they sorted it out. But then I started thinking, oh, what if they get back into my account again? So me, having a brainwave idea, I thought I'm just going to delete that account and set up a brand new one, so whoever's got my account details on the old one can no longer have it. So I just deleted absolutely everything. I never even thought for 2 minutes that when I deleted that account, all my Kindle books that I've got would also be deleted. I was absolutely heartbroken. I opened up my Kindle and they'd all gone. Literally hundreds of books, all my memories of what I've read as well. And that's why I'm so glad I did do, I have recorded a few on Goodreads last year. I started using Fable this year, but I've never been an avid one to update the books that I've read on those apps. Because to me, I always had my Kindle. I could always go back and have a look at my Kindle. I used to have separate folders, so when I read them, I put them in a separate folder. So I thought everything's sorted. And when they'd all gone, I honestly, I couldn't believe it. So it was hundreds of pounds worth gone. So many books I'd bought and hadn't yet even read. And so now I just thought, and that's kind of what got me into thinking about doing this channel as well. I thought at least then I've got some memory, some record of what books I've enjoyed, what books I haven't. But I know I've got my Fable. I've even got a separate spreadsheet. So yeah, if ever it happens in the future, I do have backups. Well, backups of the books that I've read, but that's why you'll probably see me quite a lot thinking, have I read that? What did I think of it? Because I've just forgot. But anyway, a bit of backstory about my Amazon. But yeah, like I was saying, these books, so they're part of the Bingo Hall Detectives. I think there's 4 books out so far. So I read the first one, The Village Vendetta, and really enjoyed it. The next books are on there, but they're £4.50 each. And I thought, well, if I got Kindle Unlimited, if I read 2 of those books, I paid for my membership for that month. So I think I'm going to bite the bullet. I've been nervous about putting my card details back in. I've been buying myself Amazon gift vouchers and putting those onto my account. So I thought if anybody did get back into my account, they could only spend what's on my gift voucher. They're not linked to my card again. I know, sound really paranoid, don't I? But yeah, so I think to myself that, look, Amazon looked after you before. There's nothing to worry about. So I think I will go back on my Kindle Unlimited subscription, and then I can read those books as well. What we've got is, the first book was called The Bingo Hall Detectives. The second one's called The Village Vendetta. And I'm sure the series is actually called The Bingo Hall Detectives as well. It's based on a character, well, he's a journalist called Jason. You've got Jason, his wife, and I'm sure there's 2 children. They live with their mother-in-law, Amita. I can't remember if they moved in with Amita or Amita moved in with them, but either way, they all live together. The relationship between Jason and Amita, the conversations that they have, oh, they cracked me up last time. They're so funny. Really, really good characters. You do see the wife occasionally, or you do read about the wife occasionally, but it's mainly Jason and his mother-in-law. And they kind of, in the first one, they just fell into this murder mystery and ended up solving it between them. And but it was such a good story. I definitely want to continue with it. So with this one, it says you've got Hal Mulberry has dreamt of owning the iconic painting Buttermere at Dawn. He's an entrepreneur, he's got his hands on it, he's determined to bring it back to the lake. So it's actually set in the Lake District, which is an area in England, beautiful area. And Hal wants to put it on display in Penrith Village Hall. Journalist Jason Brazil, it's spelled different to the country Brazil, but it's Brazil, I presume that's how you pronounce it, is delighted to get the exclusive, even if his mother-in-law Amita thinks he's making a fuss about an ugly piece of modern art. But when Amita uncovers the theory that the painting is cursed, she wonders just what Hal is bringing to their door: hex, hoax, or a dirty deal. So while they gather together, there's a murder that happens, and it's down to, well, it's kind of Jason and Amita get involved to find out who's trying to put people out of the picture permanently. So yeah, very much looking forward to reading that one. The next book that I've got is called The Busybody book. Club by Freya Sampson. Again, never read anything by Freya Sampson. Don't know how they came on my radar either. I'll have to, when books come on my radar, make a note of where I first heard of it from. But it does say that it's Library Reads pick. So whether it won some kind of award, I don't know. I've not actually heard of Library Reads pick, but it's it looks as though people must have enjoyed it if it was voted for something. And it says on here, having recently moved from London, so we've got another one that's moving. So having recently moved from London to a small Cornish seaside village, Nova Davies starts a book club at the local community centre, but so far it's a disaster. The 5 members disagree on everything. To make matters worse, a significant amount of money is stolen, putting the community centre at risk. So suspicion for the theft falls on one of the book club members, and then it looks as though the other book club members get involved to try and work out what's happening. Was this book club member Michael actually involved? And it does say, while trying to solve this, so there is a murder that happens and it looks like Michael goes missing. So it says, while trying to locate Michael, solve the murder, recover the stolen money, each of them has their own secret to protect. Interesting. So I'm sure when I saw about this book, it's written from different people's point of views as well. So even though you've got the 5 people in the book club, I do think it's written from their points of views, and I quite like that, as long as it doesn't get repetitive. Sometimes with books that have different point of views, every time it switches to another point of view, it kind of gets a bit repetitive, and as long as it doesn't do that, I'm looking forward to that, and kind of keeps you on your toes when you see it from the different perspectives, doesn't it? So that's another one. The next one I've got on my list is actually a reread. Again, because I lost my books on Kindle, when I was scrolling through and just having a look at what other books there was, I forgot about this series that I read. It's called The Village Mysteries, and it's by Margaret Mayhew. I read this series, there's 5 or 6 books in the series if I remember right, and I remember liking them that much. As soon as I read one, sometimes once I read one I do like a bit of space before I read the next one, but I remember with these I just had to go into the next one, into the next one. The characters were just so heartwarming, and I forgot so much of what's happened in those books. And when I was going through what I could buy on Kindle, they'd got 4 of these books, so the first 4 books in the series for £1.99. How could I not? How could I not for £1.99? So yeah, it'll be a reread. So what it's about, you've got a colonel. They've moved, so the colonel's moved to kind of like this bit of a dilapidated cottage in a village. Years before, him and his wife saw this place, and they always said when the colonel retires, that's where they'd like to go and live. Unfortunately, he loses his wife, and this, it's in the blurb, it happened, it tells you about it quite early on in the book, so it's not a spoiler or anything, but he loses his wife, but he still wants to go to this village. So he goes to this village, if I remember right, his next door neighbour is such a character. I remember she made me laugh so much. There's a cat, I'm sure there was a cat involved, that kind of adopted him, adopted the colonel. It kind of moved in, and that was it, weren't going anywhere. And yeah, the colonel kind of, again, he gets involved in these mysteries, not particularly that he wanted to, it just kind of happens, and he sorts it out. But I do remember that warmth feeling, that it was just, yeah, just such good books to get lost into. And I always remember at the end of each book, you know, and you feel really like, oh, that was just the sweetest. So I thought, well, why not, for £1.99, get them again and just reread them. They're not very big mysteries. I don't know how many pages, but I don't remember them being like big books. Just probably about 300 pages, like an average mystery one. So that's all my cozy mysteries that I've got. The next one I've got is a cozy witchy Mystery. So with this one, it's called well, the first one was called Accidental Magic. It's part of the Myrtle Wood Mysteries, and the author is Iris Beaglehole. So the Myrtle Wood Mysteries, I read the first book of this a couple of months ago, and again, absolutely loved it. It was so good. So the first one, as I say, was Accidental Magic. This second one is called Experimental Magic. So with this one, what we've got is, well, in the first one, you've got Rosemary and her daughter, Athena. They're struggling through life, and a lot of it down to money worries. I'm sure she's like a teenager, daughter. Well, she goes to secondary school or high school, so she's a teenager. So they're struggling, and then they receive a message that the Nan has died, Granny Thorne. They go back to where Granny Thorne lives, and so much starts happening that Athena starts questioning. She's like, what's going on here? That's not like that's not quite normal. There's something going on in the background here that I'm not like privy to. And it turns out, and again, it's not a spoiler, you get this, I'm sure it says it on the back of the book, but she finds out her nan, like Granny Thorne, was actually a witch, and it was her nan that got murdered. And when she goes back, the local detectives, like the local police enforcement, think that Athena's involved, because it turns out that the granny has left her house to Athena. So of course the local law enforcement think, well, you've done something so that you could get your hands on this house. And then there's like these spooky goings on. There's these characters that when you're reading them, straight away you know what they are, but to Athena, she's like, I suppose it would be the same as if you saw it in real life. If you started seeing these spooky goings on, you, rather than think, oh, that's a witchy behaviour, that's possibly a werewolf, that's possibly a vampire, you would, in real life, there's no way you'd think that's happening. And that's what Athena's very much like. She's been sheltered from it. She's got no clue about what her granny was like. As the story unfolds, you do learn why. So it really is a mystery, not just the murder mystery from her nan, from her granny, but the mystery as to why she'd got no idea about this existence that's going on. And yeah, like I say, when you're reading it, you know straight away what it is, but she keeps doubting it. She's like, that's not possible, that's just not possible. It's so good. As the penny finally starts to drop, it really is good. So that was the first book. The second book seems just as good. It says Rosemary and Athena are just settling into their new life in the unapologetically magical village of Myrtle Wood. So Rosemary ends up getting a part-time job there, but it looks as though strange things start to happen again, and she's involved in a mystery trying to solve it. Cannot wait to read that. I do know the author, Iris Beaglehole, the Myrtle Mysteries, there's quite a few books of those. Not sure how many, might be 8, 9, there is quite a few. But she's also got another series as well, which to me reads just as good by reading the blurb. So maybe once I've finished these, I might go on to the other ones. We'll see. But that's my cozy, witchy mystery book that I've got. Now, the next book I got was actually a recommendation from one of my followers, and it's the first recommendation that I've had. So I thought, how can I not put that on my to be read book for this month? How can I not add it in? It needs to be done, doesn't it? So the lady who recommended is Carrie Grant. What a name. Oh, just brilliant. And on my introductory video, she heard me say how I really like the book Direwolf, and she was like, if you like Direwolf, try Fourth Wing, you'll really enjoy that. And weirdly, last month I did actually download Fourth Wing because Amazon had got it on offer for 99 pence. And again, once it's 99 pence, how can you not? It's basically free, isn't it? 99 pence. So, and I feel a bit late to the party because I know that everybody's, well, not everybody, but so many people have read that series. But I thought I'll give it a go. I really like Direwolf, and from what I can gather, this is kind of very similar but more dragon version. And I thought, well, let's try it. It's nearly 650 pages long, so I might still be in May and reading this book, I don't know, but I just had to give it a go. And it says, enter the brutal and elite world of a war college for dragon riders. #1 New York Times best-selling author Rebecca Yarros. So yeah, we've got 20-year-old Violet was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Oh, sounds like a dream to me. If I was in that world, I'd definitely want to be part of the scribe quadrant. So now that the commanding general, also known as her toughest Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of cadets striving to become the elite Navarre Dragon Riders. Ooh. And then it says, but when you're smaller than everybody else, your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet just to better their own chances. Most would kill her just because of who she is, with the mother and being the commanding general. So it looks as though she's going to need her wits about her just so she can see the next day. So very much looking forward to how that goes. And what I really liked about this, when it says at the end, it says, once you enter the war college, everybody has an agenda. There's only 2 ways out: graduate or die. Why not? Why not jump on the bandwagon and give it a go? And especially as, like I say, it's my first recommendation. How can I not? The next books that I'm going to go through are my audiobooks. I find with my audiobooks, I really need to concentrate. I need to concentrate more so with my audiobooks than I do my physical books. Because when I'm reading my Kindle or a physical book, I've got it in front of me and I can get so engrossed. I literally, I don't hear anything else going on around me. That's it. My head is literally in my book. Well, with my audiobooks, I tend to listen to those when I'm taking the dog for a walk, when I'm doing my gardening, something like that. And I get distracted very easily. I see something going on, I'm like, oh, what's going on over there? Before I know it, I've lost where I am in my book. When I choose audiobooks, they have to be very easy to listen to. I can't listen to a complex audiobook. I would just get lost. It wouldn't happen. So I've already listened to some books in a series, and it's called the Nosy Parker series, or Nosy Parker Mystery, should I say, which makes me laugh because, like I say, I get distracted, and maybe it's me being nosy and like, what's happening over there, and maybe I should just concentrate on my book. But these are the Nosy Parker Mysteries. I've already listened to 4 of them, and these are the ones by Fiona Leach, the one that I mentioned earlier in my video. They are so good. The narrator that does it she's brilliant. Really good. I've listened to 4 of them. They're so easy to listen to and funny. So we've got Jodie Nosy Parker. She used to be a police detective. Well, she used to work for the police. I don't know if she was a detective, but she used to work for the police, and she left the police and she's now a baker. Well, not a baker, a chef, that's it. She does say the difference. She is a chef, because apparently her cake decorating isn't up to scratch. That's why she doesn't class herself as a baker. So she is a chef, and she's kind of setting up this business as a chef. She's got, it has her daughter, her teenage daughter, and you also have her mother. And the relationship between those is so good. The mother, the way she says certain things, just brilliant, just absolutely brilliant. You really do need to read or listen to these books. Brilliant. You've got and wherever, even though Jodie's now setting up as a chef, there always seems to be trouble, and because she is a nosy Parker, she can't help but get involved. And she's actually very good at, or she was very good when she was in the police. You learn throughout the first book why she did leave the police, and you can completely understand why. So I think she does miss those days, but like I say, you can see why she did leave. It's set in a lovely Cornish village. It's just that there's such nice books to listen to, and again give you that feel-good feeling when you've been listening to them. And of course there's a dishy detective now that she's kind of getting to know, and they are good. Well, the next one I'm listening to, what I'll do this month, is called A Cornish Recipe for Murder. And with this, it's actually based on the show Bake Off. But instead of like being our British Bake Off, where you have the tent and you have the contestants coming into the tent and there's kind of an elimination each round, this one goes, it's very similar to that, but the tent, the competition as such, goes to different counties, and then it's the winner from each county, and I think they all bake off against each other at the end. From what I've read on the blurb, that's kind of how it happens. And of course there's a murder in there, Jodie's in the middle, Nosy Parker going to solve it. Can't wait to read that, because I love the British Bake Off. So and the fact it just always reminds me of summer, and the fact that we've actually got some nice days here in England at the minute. I'm looking forward to listening to those. There's 10 of them altogether. So once I've listened to book 5, I might move on to book 6. Book 6 is a Cornish seaside murder. So I imagine I will like book 5 and want to move on to book 6. I actually have, what's it called, Spotify, and I've got the premium Spotify. So I get quite a lot of audiobooks included as part of my premium Spotify membership, and I don't know if Spotify's got all 10 of these books, but it's definitely got 5 and 6, so I'll keep listening to them as much as while they're actually available on there, and just see how many it actually goes up to. So yeah, that's my books altogether. That's 8 books I'd say I'm planning on reading. We'll see, that 4th wing might take 2 weeks, but if it's anything like Direwolf, I read Direwolf when I recently went on holiday with my sister, and I didn't speak to her for days. My head was in my book constantly. I just couldn't turn the page quick enough. So with 4th wings like that, maybe I'll get through it quicker than I think. But that's what I'm planning on reading. It's nice to have some structure. I usually just pick up a book, read it, and then that's why I forget what series I've read and where I am in the series, because I'm very much just picking up random books. So I'm hoping by doing these to-be reads and having that structure to it, I'm hoping I can bring a bit more consistency to my reading. We'll see how we get on, and then any audiobooks that I get on top of that. Thank you for coming along for this video of me talking about what books I'd like to read. Hopefully there's someone there that you like the sound of as well. I will of course do a monthly wrap up, so it'll be coming out the beginning of April. No, we're in April now. It'll be coming out the beginning of May, where I'll talk about what I've thought about the books. But I'm very excited about the books that I'm going to be reading. Okay then, I'll hopefully see you very soon and let you know what I've thought about those books. Take care everybody. See you soon.